And welcome back, everybody. We're sorry about that. Hopefully that's the last bit of that issue that we have. But we're back on. We got to change the names because we got Matthew David Wood in the Discord with us, and Jordan Jurassic with the sunglasses, uh, big old snow ski and goggles look like. But we're back, guys, and we're gonna get to our second round of interviews tonight. And don't worry about the stream. I know it's live, but that's the best part about it. But we'll be able to piece this all together tomorrow and make it just one video. So that's the beauty part about this is we can go back and kind of make corrections and whatnot. Cody will do that. He'll have that done probably by tomorrow afternoon, and we'll reshare it, and all the guys can share it for their family and friends and whatnot. But Matt, Jordan, welcome to the Hot Lap, guys. How y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Well, I don't know if you guys were listening. I think Jordan was because he was chatting in the live chat. But we went through a couple of round of questions. We'll have some of the similar questions, maybe some different. But first, Matthew David Wood, Jordan Jurassic, welcome to the Championship Six. Uh, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this your second time in the Championship Six or the first time?
Right. I was in it last season.
Oh, I thought so. Okay, so you were in that battle with Keith Bradley. Keith Bradley won last season, season 8. So, tell us a little bit about your season to kind of get back into the championship six, and talk about a little bit of ups and downs. I know you had some highs and some lows. So, go ahead first, Matt, and then we'll move on to Jordan with the same question.
Yeah, it's been definitely an up and down season. I'd say more on the up. Of course, we've had our moments, but took me quite a long time to get to where we could win on an oval. Just bad luck, a lot of it. And finally, we got in a position at Chicagoland to where, okay, we're at the front. If we could just hold the bottom now, nobody can really get around us because it's flat out. Nobody's going to have the momentum on top unless they have a push. And it was mission one, I think 1, 2, and 3 at that point. So as long as it was one of us, that was the plan. It didn't matter really who. And finally, we got that. Then I think we won 3 in a row. Skip one, then Dover, and then almost won Nashville. So it's been a good streak of races coming up to this point. Beginning of the season was all right, but we kind of got going to where we wouldn't win necessarily, but we'd be very consistent. Consistent top fives, consistent top threes, and that's what it's about. But now it's about, okay, yeah, you're good and consistent. You're in the top five. But to win the championship with these guys, you're going to have to be the winner, in my opinion. Of course, Holden's not in it. Holden is very, very fast. So if he wins the race, then unfortunately that doesn't matter. But with these guys, I don't know if he'll win the race. I'm going to probably have to win the race in order to win the championship. So I think the momentum going into it is very on the positive for us, and as well as the team. We're doing very well team wise. Um, but we've had our downsides. The first EOL I ever got was at Texas, and um, I was I forget. I don't even know who it was. I think it was Schumann or something like that. I don't know. I had new tires, and I went around the outside, and I thought he knew I was there because he kind of moved down and then started to back out, and I was like, okay, I wasn't going to go for it, but I'll go for it. And then I see a 52 start to lift up in the air as he was sideways on my nose. So, okay. And then Nashville. I didn't even mean to do that at Nashville, if I'm being completely honest. My mindset's, okay, it's after the race. Time to coast. And I'm just going to go up there and tap his back bumper, go get him, kid. Well, yeah. And then in that moment, you're as Tristan, you're kind of thinking, well, this guy's going to come up and hit me. I just punted him and his teammate. I'm just going to hit the brakes. So he then brakes and causes that. So that was not the best. But other than that, we've had a pretty clean season, other than Dover, which I want to forget. I got tight, and of course, me and Ryan are cool. And so same with Richmond. But again, going into the championship, we've got to leave that behind. All of us have to leave our differences behind. Maybe. I see, Jordan, you're laughing.
No, I'm reading the text message right now. They're making fun of me in the chat.
Jordan, you're laughing, Jordan. But yeah, I think we all we all deserve to be here. we all did very well throughout the season, and going through different rounds of playoffs, we have to be consistent because, of course, points get reset, and then you're like, well, now I've got to do good 3 races more to get into the next round, and then I just have to do the same thing again. It doesn't matter. So you have to be consistent, and I think all of us were. Unfortunately, had Holden made the first race, he would have been in it. But it's just one less really, really fast guy that I have to worry about. Love you, Holden. But yeah, overall, it's been an up and down season, definitely. But I've had more support than I've had in any other leagues. But um, I just got to go in now and try and win it. I've been league racing for 3 years. Of course, I'm just turned 16, so not that long, not that much experience. But in 2021, I started doing stuff with my friends on NASCAR 85, and I tried for I think like 8 to 12 seasons. I'd win the regular season championship by over 50 points, and then go into the championship. My internet would lag out, or I'd get wrecked. Last season in my Saturday Night League, won the championship regular season by 350 points. Didn't have the pace, and then last season, I get wrecked with 9 to go, no caution. So now I'm like 0-13 when I'm winning the regular season championship or leading the points going into a championship. So this is like mentally for me, because I'm very judgmental of myself. It's like I have to win this kind of thing. Of course, with this, it's a lot fiercer of competition than I've ever had, and Ryan deserves it. Tristan deserves it. He did really well. Jordan, I mean, everybody deserves
Well,
it.
we'll get to competitors in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want you to use your whole entire time and then I can't ask you any questions and then I got to focus on Jordan. But Jordan, talk to us about your season. I know you know Matt got a win in the he had 5 total wins on the season thus far. I mean, we still race tomorrow night, so he could make it 6. But he had, I mean, where he went on a stretch 3 in a row in the playoffs, just kind of winning and moving on to the next round, not really having to worry about a lot of things. He won at Dover, so he didn't have to worry about Talladega. You came out strong. You won the pole for the big Daytona race. And then we didn't see you in victory lane until later on in the season, so you have one official win. So talk to us about, the highs and lows of your season. And before you do, I know the chat's blowing up right now about you looking like a state trooper. I mean, it's a great mustache. It really is. It's a great mustache. But go ahead with your season.
Yeah, I mean, the season's been, it started off very good with the pole at Daytona. And then I believe the second race we won stage one, almost won stage two at Kansas. But it's kind of just been like stalled out. We've been like running fifth to 10th most of the season. We never really got that race to like put all the pieces together. And then we had to deal with some logistical stuff going overseas and stuff like that. So I had to miss a couple races, but um, I think our first true like good race was Bristol. We won the first couple stages, and we know there's a lot of cautions there. So like Bruce, he finally got that one restart to time it right, and I just made a mistake, and he took the lead. So that could have been our first win of the season. Other than that, we kind of just been running top five, and then to the playoffs. Been pretty consistent. Try to be that sleeper pick. I mean, I've been in leagues where I've dominated the whole regular season, did pretty good in the playoffs, but come the championship, I just didn't come through. But hopefully, we could do the opposite. I mean, kind of we've been there the whole season. Just need to come through and finish it at the championship race at Charlotte.
Well, good deal. And, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't missed a start this season. Jordan, you touched on, having to, move overseas, I believe, right? You,
Yes,
and is that service related?
yes, it is service related. I had to go from stateside to Korea. I'm at right now.
And what branch do you serve in?
Air Force.
Oh, well, thank you for your service. So,
Appreciate it.
um, we touched on our buddy Tyler Dittmer deployed. So hopefully we'll have him back sooner rather than later. To do this podcast weekly like we used to. But I was going to touch on real quick. Matt. 16. Chris Blanchard touched on being 45, 46. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cody. Around that age. Matt Cherry, I believe, said 36. Jordan, how old are you?
24.
24. So a mixed bunch, and Matt Matt specifically made it sound like he just turned 16. So I guess he's the baby of the group, you can say. But what I want to touch on is, Matt hasn't missed a race. He has that opportunity. Jordan, the way it works in our league is, you kind of pay for these starting parks. We're kind of doing away with the starting parks. It's mainly just subscription based. You pay your entry fee every single week and you're still in the game. You're going to pay just as much as the other person. So Jordan elected to do that. He used the starting parks. He kept paying. So that's how he was eligible to continue on in the playoffs. And look where it got you. It got you in a championship six. So your season's never out. That's what I always tell people. We get to week 5 and 6, and everybody's like, "Oh man, I've ran 3 races out of the 6 races, and I wrecked out. So I'm only finishing 10th or whatnot. Don't give up. We've seen it with this series. Uh, Joshua Rodriguez, shout out to him, and that I believe what he runs, the number 4 truck for Velocity Viper Racing, Brandon Broadfoot and his group. He uh, he was outside of the playoffs, and he actually won at Daytona, the cutoff race going into the playoffs, to make his way into the playoffs. So I tell everybody, your season's never over. There's points, there's payouts for top 25. So I mean, all you have to do is really just show up and continue paying, and you'll make it. But so Matt's been here before. This is his second season in a row he's been in Championship Six. Like I touched on earlier, I know we talked about the playoff format changing. It's going to go to Championship 8 next season. We'll get into those details as we get past the championship. Jordan, it's your first time racing with us for, am I saying this right? Is it M2J or MJ2?
MJ2 Racing.
MJ2 Racing with Matthew Montgomery and that group, and you guys are coming back. Y'all are bringing the team back. So in a couple of different faces and new places next season. I know Matt's going to stick with Mission One and return back with those guys. But uh, Matt, this question is kind of for you. What was it like, or what did it take to kind of get back to this point to do it 2 seasons in a row? Because it is hard. It's not easy by all means. And Jordan, what was it like your first season and to make it this far?
Yeah, it's just tough. You got to be consistent. You got to practice a lot because these guys are quick. I mean, these guys are some of the best you can get on iRacing. So it takes a lot of consistency. Um, but I kind of come with that natural kind of feel for racing, and there's some tracks that I just don't have that at. So you got to make up for those by winning something that you're good at, which for me is road courses. We won Coda, almost won the Glen. If I could have beat Colin Weatherholt, oh my goodness, that would have been magical. But I put him in the wall and I let him have it because I don't like that. But then we won at Chicago. So really, it's about finding what you're good at and then proving on what you're not good at. I was not really all that great at short tracks, and then multiple short tracks this season we've either won or almost won. So it's about just kind of doing what you're good at and then improving, like I said, on what you're not, and trying to find somewhere in between of, well, do I be aggressive or do I just hang back and help my team as much as I can? It's a lot of mental stuff, but you got to have speed to do it. And I think a lot of people, when they first start iRacing, they miss, racecraft. And that's a main thing that to be good, it's not about one lap pace, it's about consistent pace. And then you may have consistent pace, but if you can't race side by side with somebody, then it's all going to go to waste. So that's what it's all about. I feel like my racecraft has been good up until past couple weeks. I think I've made some mistakes, and I got to fix that, especially going into next season. But I've been pretty consistent, so that's a good thing for me.
And Jordan? talk about your, first time, first season. I wouldn't call you a rookie because I don't think you're a rookie in my eyes, but it is your rookie season with us. So touch base on it and, making it this far.
Yeah, I mean, the season's been pretty good in my eyes. I mean, we made it to the championship, so we got that goal down. But the true goal is to get the championship now. But starting off, it was I think our expectations was a little too high. I guess we wanted to get a couple wins in the regular season, started building some momentum in the playoffs. We didn't. We were always up front. We had some run-ins with a couple of people, but never anything that accumulated to some beef or like Jacob Reese would say. Also, I'm keeping up these Christmas lights. I think he said on the last race, he's saying I need to take the Christmas lights down, but I don't know. I call them party lights now, even though it's after Christmas. But the season, I think as long as we win the championship, then it's a success. If we don't, then I mean it was a good season, but I like to strive for perfection. And if we can't get the championship, then we didn't accomplish our main goal.
Absolutely. And so this next question, it's one that we've asked the previous drivers that were on, and you kind of when you ask this question, it's a question we've been. Cody would have to correct me, but I think we've been doing these live shows with the championship drivers for 2 years now, 2.5 years now, and they always, when you get to, start talking about your competitors and guys that you like and whatnot, or respect for that matter, because like I said, it's 6 month season. A lot of things happen week in and week out. So, Matt or Jordan, but we'll go with Matt first. You can't pick yourself, but you got to pick somebody you want to see win it, and you got to pick somebody you don't want to see win it.
Ryan. I think Ryan's been. I mean, we talk a lot. I was actually talking to Ryan about this very conversation right before we got in here. It's gonna be tough
But
starting
it
to
can't.
pick.
You can't pick Ryan because you feel bad about Dover.
No, I'm not. I don't. I promise. That's not one of the reasons. I promise. It might
Because
be
I
a
mean,
little bit.
Jordan's right there next to you on screen. I know y'all are. We're
Yeah.
very like thousands of miles away from each other, but Ryan could reach over and
Right.
slap you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I was actually talking to him about that. Like, I don't mind really anybody, but if I had to pick one person to not win it, no, it's not you, Jordan. I know that I kind of built up into that, but
That's
no,
all
it's
good.
not you. No, it's not you. I I gotta say Tristan. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like him, and I mean, it's not so much as I think it's because of the racecraft thing. He's the opposite of me. I'm pretty conservative, or at least I have been up again until the past couple of weeks. But he's more of a very aggressive kind of guy. Like he's gonna be the type of guy that it may be 5 laps in, but if you make me mad enough, I'm gonna send you. So not a lot of guys are like that. So I think, and he's got speed. I mean, he's a very talented kid. He's younger than me. I don't know about how much. I think it's a couple months, but he's a very talented kid. But I don't know. He's had a lot of beef this season. I know a lot of people don't want to see him win. Personally, whatever to me. But if there was one guy not to, I think it'd be him.
And Jordan.
The guys or the guy that I want to win the championship, I would have to either pick MDW or Ryan Johnson because they both kind of been up there winning races. Uh, and I guess I'll go with the one that everybody's been picking, not Ryan Tristan Bruce. I mean, I like the guy. I mean, we have a good, healthy like rivalry from Thunderclap that merged into the Cup Series now. Last season, I feel like we've been racing pretty hard, and he's really aggressive. But I mean, I could be aggressive as well. So I mean, I think you'll. I don't want him to win, but I mean, even if he does win, he well deserved it because I believe he has 5 wins. There's like 3 drivers that have 5 wins this season. So any of those drivers that have 5 wins, 2 wins, any more than me, I mean they're well deserved to win the championship.
Absolutely. And like the previous group, I touched on stats, and we're gonna get right into it. Jordan, your average start 9.9, so top 10 starting spot every single week. Um, Average finish 12.8, so better than Matt and Chris. So, like I said, the one win that you have, and I don't. Yep, you got one poll. Uh, so yeah, so not too bad. And then Matt, we'll look at your stats. Average start 5.6, so almost well top five starting spot, and the average finish of 10.5. So far the best average finish. You have two polls, and like I said, the five wins. So a little bit different stats compared to everybody. Matt, we harped on Matt Cherry not winning a race, Chris Blanchard not winning a race, and then we have you guys that Jordan has the win, and um, Matt David Wood has five. So wins don't matter here. So what are Jordan? You don't have to start in the back. You were the only one that came out of Nashville without an EOL. So you get the luxury of qualifying. So you're gonna have a little head start on everybody else as they all get EOLs. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cody. You'd have to say to my ear. I don't know how many people were on the EOL report, but I know it was a bunch. As we came 16, 16. He's hollering at me. So 32 cautions last week. Not one of our best showings, but we'll get there one day. We'll get there. Oh, Cody's shouting out that he's not on it, so he'll get to qualify. Um, but anyways, Matt, what is it going to take to come from the back to get up there? Because stage points don't matter. You don't even have to win the race. You just have to beat the other five guys. What's it going to take coming from the back to get up to the front to compete for the championship? And then Jordan, your question is going to be reversed because you could possibly be starting on the pole or up front near the front as long as you don't mess up qualifying. So let's just hypothetically say you're starting up further than your competitors. What's it going to take to kind of keep those guys behind you? So Matt, we'll go with you first.
Well, it's going to take clean racing. It makes it easier that all of the guys that I'm around are starting in the back. And it also helps that all of us have EOLs and 16 drivers have EOL. So that it's all going to depend on kind of where we start because it could be random between um, who gets EOLs and who goes where and who goes where. But either way, it don't matter. It's going to be about missing the wrecks because there's inevitably going to be some wrecks somewhere in the field. Usually not up front, but we're not up front. We got to be in the back, so we have to stay hyper focused on who's going to go where. Are we looking at a wreck here? But while we're coming up through the field, we got to make sure that our tires don't wear. So it's going to be a tall task, but it's a long race, of course. 2 stage breaks. Are they both cautions, or is it one green and then one? Not
See what he's
sure.
trying to do there.
But
Yeah,
either way,
I just said earlier they'll be posted tomorrow afternoon, so nobody really has a
Smart
really
man.
good advantage.
I wasn't listening.
I see what you're trying to do there, MDW.
That's been a trend here. I would say probably the last year. Um, I try to keep it as even as possible because not everybody has. As you see me, I apologize. I know we're live, but I've got work going on my phone. I've got a million questions going on in the Discord because even though we're doing this podcast, I still have five leagues to take care of. So people are asking me stuff about next week for their series. So I apologize if you see me looking down a lot. But yeah, I've been doing that. I thought about that about a year and a half ago, maybe. Of if you want to practice, go ahead and practice, but you're not getting the race details until right before the race. Just because I don't want people to feel like they're behind the eight ball because they might work 40, 50, 60 hours, 70 hours a week. And then you have somebody at home just chilling, just, oh, I'm going to run, 8 hours today and practice my butt off. So I'm trying to create a little bit more of an even playing field for all you guys. So yeah, to Matt, I'm sorry I cut you off, man. You can keep going, but the race details ain't out yet, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense, and that's a lot of respect to the guys that, again, like you said, have to work. They can't be at home. Usually, I'm out and about helping family or a lot of school and doing schoolwork. But it's just a lot of it's just going to be tire saving because you're going to want to push, but you can't push too hard or your tires are going to wear. And then I'm going to have a situation like I did with Ryan and put somebody in the wall. So I think the main thing that I'm personally worried about is not getting up to the front. I think all six of us will be up front at one point, maybe one, two, three, four, five, six. But it's about getting up there because the travel getting up there, again, there's a lot of people who are just desperate to make moves because they're in the back. But you got to take your time. But when people don't take their time, it's going to cause wrecks. So being in the back, you got 30 other trucks next to you and all different skill levels. And when those skill levels come together, it's like cool air and warm air create a tornado. I'm the weatherman, of course, I have to put that in, but um, it causes a crash, and then we have to miss it. So the main thing that I'm worried about is getting wrecked, not necessarily getting to the front. It's going to be tough, but I think we can all do it.
And Jordan, let's just hypothetically say you're on the pole. Because
Hypothetically.
again, I think, I mean, 16 drivers. I mean, that's got to be at least half the field tomorrow night. I would assume that we're gonna have 30 plus. So hypothetically saying 30 plus show up, uh, you get to qualify, and let's just say you get the pole. What's it gonna take to stay up there the whole night?
Just keeping your track position. Don't be making mistakes. Let's say we have on one of the stages or the last stage, especially where you need to be in good track position and then executing a final pit stop, hypothetically. You're going to need to be up front and then have a good pit stall because if you're and just try not to make mistakes, honestly, because you could truly speed in pit road so easily. And just wondering about cars coming behind you, it's just bad timing, but it's just going to limit your mistakes. And you honestly just have to be perfect there at the end of the last stage, in my opinion, to win the championship. It may come down to a green white checkered. It may come down to somebody saved a set of tires. It may come down to fuel, but it's going to be trying not to make that major mistake that may cost you the championship. But if you may not have the speed, you're going to have to pull some strategy and hope that a caution may fall your way. And like at Dover, I had an extra set of tires that everybody used up, and if a caution would have happened, I could have been in position to win and not have to worry about Dega or Nashville. But we didn't get that caution, and we'll see how the strategy plays out for the final stage there at Charlotte.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna say a couple of things and ask a couple of things out of you guys. So, um, first off, I want to know real quick, just quick answers. Matt, how many laps at Charlotte you practiced this week?
Zero, none.
Jordan, how many laps you practiced so far at Charlotte?
Zero.
So we
I've
got
I've been
four.
busy at work all week.
So four in a row, Cody. For first time ever, we've heard people not practicing for a championship race. We'll have to see what Ryan and Tristan have to say, but so we got 0 for 4. So you're going to open up by answering this question, and then each of y'all are going to have, I'd say, a couple of minutes to kind of, thank everybody or shout outs, whatever you want to do, family, friends. It'll be your time to shine because we got to get to the next group that's in the waiting room. So my last question would be to you guys: why does Matthew David Wood deserve to win the championship tomorrow? And the same would apply for you, Jordan. So Matt, you go first, and after you say why, go ahead, thank your sponsors, and like I said, any shout outs that you want to give.
Yeah, of course, I'm very critical. So I don't know if I deserve it or not, but for me, I've had a very good season. I've raced a lot of cleanliness again up until the past 2 weeks. We don't talk about that. Um, it's just been one heck of a ride this season, and the team's just been incredible. Team points are very valuable to us, and I've tried to help as much as I can. Tried to help in the Dega shootout, but once once it got going, it was just like a log jam on the interstate, 3x3x3x3, and didn't wreck until we were coming to the line. So kind of hard to pass there. But and by the way, apparently Tristan is a 22. One of the Bruces just said that in chat. I think that's when
I'm
I
a
opened up the
Bruce.
heavens. Apparently. Somebody somebody also said I opened up the heavens. Yeah, when I turn on my golly, that's bright. I switch tabs, and my goodness, it's completely like pitch black in my room. And I switch tabs, and I think I have ball lightning in my room. But I have a lot of, like I said, I, oh, I have a lot of support this season. My grandpa watches. My some people I met from church watch. My friends watch a lot, and I couldn't love them more, to be honest with you. They've been a lot of help this season. I think somebody's planning on making hats for me. I think just with my truck and then MDW on the back, which is I never thought that'd happen, but okay, go ahead. Um, yeah, it's been a heck of a season. Just got to thank everybody, including you, Brady, and Jordan and Nazareth for what they do, Cops for what they do. Um, just it's a great place to be in. Of course, you get weeks where you're like, man, this just sucks. What are we doing here? And then the next week you'll go out and have the best battle of your life, and it's restores that. So every league's gonna have that week where it's just not your week, and I hope a lot of people understand that, and I think a lot of people do. So overall, even after the race, just talking to people, it's just a great place to be. Being young, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into until you really do, and then you're committed to it. And I think I made the right decision. It's been clean for the most part. When I get into a battle with somebody, it's toe to toe, and I'm getting that experience. But we'll go on to Charlotte, hopefully win a championship, and then I gotta get up at like 7 in the morning and race for 24 hours tomorrow. I gotta start the first 5 hours of a car, so that's fun.
The Daytona 24 coming up this weekend. A lot of NASRA guys going to be running that event. So Jordan, why do you deserve the championship and go ahead and have your time to thank your sponsors and friends and family and whatnot?
That's the thing. We don't deserve it. That's what we're here though. A few close people know we're not even supposed to be here with how our schedule went, and we're just playing with house money at this point. So if we can, oh, it doesn't matter if who's just most deserving. It's who can go get it done in that last stage and be there at the checkered flag. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, you don't. It's not about who's most deserving. It's about who could you could have 10 wins this season, and but it's just not gonna correlate to who wins the championship. Or it may, but it may not. But we only have one win this season, and yeah, it may not show a lot, but it showed that we've had a lot of speed. But I'm just happy we're here. Happy that we have the opportunity to go fight for a championship. And then for our sponsors, I want to thank West Texas Pepper Traders. They've been on our car for all season. I want to thank Scott, Sam, Jordan. They've been some great people to me, and hopefully we can go get them a championship. Oh, also one question. Uh, the question I thought
I don't know if
I
I
had
want to.
in
I
my
don't know if I want to allow y'all to ask me questions. But
no,
go
no,
ahead.
it's a simple question. It's a simple question. What I had this idea yesterday pop in my head. So I was thinking, whoever wins the championship this season, they should have a gold spoiler and a gold banner to represent the champion for the next season, for the regular season, the whole I believe it's 12 races, but I don't know, just an idea, just to show like kind of who's the champion for the next season.
Well, we've talked about forcing somebody to run the number one, like you've seen in Formula One sometimes do it. You've seen it in Supercross do it. They have a different color tag, like you're kind of bringing up. But you win the championship. I mean, we blast your picture. We got 213simware.com, who's a big supporter of Nazra. You can get championship banners, T-shirts. You can go on their website and order them. So we do that for you guys. It's $500 on the line for winning the championship tomorrow night. Uh, we 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 do trophies. The trophies are going to be a little bit late for the Championship Six because the vendor that we were using is no longer in business. So I'm trying to scramble right now, trying to get somebody else. But I do have an outlook for that, an outfit for that. So We're gonna get that. But also we blast you guys your trucks on the YouTube channel. As you've seen, Keith Bradley is his last night. That he'll be. Yeah, yeah, the thumbnail. It's kind of like a Madden cover, and it might be the curse for one of you guys next season. Who knows? It was kind of the curse for Keith this season. So last night, I mean, tomorrow night will be the last night that you'll see Keith, and then one of you guys will be on that cover. So we do a lot. It's a good idea, and I'll think about it. I'll tell you that.
Awesome.
Well, you guys have a great night. I appreciate y'all coming on board. I got to get to the next group. I wish you guys best of luck tomorrow, just like Matt and Chris and Tristan and Ryan. I appreciate y'all taking time on y'all schedule to come on here and go get some practice laps in, guys. I mean, come on, not
Yeah,
practicing. I
work.
think
We
I'm
got
gonna find
work.
out. I'm gonna find out who's lying. Somebody's lying. I mean, both of y'all are in y'all rigs right now. Y'all about to cut off and probably go run some laps. So. But no, I appreciate you guys, and like I said, I'll be happy with any one of y'all who win tomorrow night. So no bias, but I will make my pick at the end of the show. So you might have to stay up a little bit later, Jordan, to hear that. But thank you guys, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night.
All right, God bless.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
And that was Matthew David Wood and Jordan Jurassic. Matthew David Wood drives the number 21 for Mission One Esports, and Jordan Jurassic drives the number 6 for M- MJ2 Racing. So, shout out to Matthew Montgomery and all those guys and all the Mission One guys. Like I said, the only pair to make the championship from a team. Speaking of teams, we do team championship in all our series. That battle is still going on even to the last race of the season. Mission One Esports has a 50-point lead over Blue Line Racing. So it's the battle of Bertie LaBeouf versus Huck Wigginton right now with those two teams racing against each other. We won't know until the conclusion of tomorrow night's race. The concerns, is it the cops coming on board, Cody, for the last race? The concerns of police survivors 225, I believe, for Charlotte. Yep. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it will be the concerns of police survivors 225 at Charlotte Motor Speedway tomorrow night. So we will find out the conclusion who's our team champion and who's our driver champion tomorrow night. So a lot of things going on tomorrow night with this race. So I think we're kind of running behind with all the technicalities. So let's just go ahead and yeah, let's just bring in. Well, let's take a quick commercial break, Cody, and we'll have Ryan and Tristan in. So y'all just stay tuned, and we'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. Appreciate y'all sticking it out with us tonight. I know and that's why it's kind of hard with these live shows to kind of cover all the series. I promise you, we're gonna get in kind of a rhythm here, and we're gonna do some more podcasts as we progress a little bit, kind of get back into the swing of things. We just have a lot going on, 4 series, plus the NASRA 500. Uh, Please, if you are watching this, if you have not signed up yet, we're expecting all the NASRA guys to run it. Please support us that week. We're taking an entire week off of all the NASCAR weeks. I've got with Justin White, who runs the Cup Series. Cody helps me with all the other 3 series. We changed our schedules, made it to where it was possible for all you guys to run. So if we have all the NASCAR guys run and we pick off possibly 40 to 50 guys off of the iRacing server and we get a couple of more guys, we should have a huge field. I know right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Cody, 112 people, 120 I've seen on the entry list. So a big field. It's going to be the biggest race that Nazareth has ever put on before. We're excited about it. So 110, 112, that area. So we're looking forward to hosting that event. It's going to be a week long at Daytona. 2 weeks to kind of prepare and get everybody on there. We're still going to be taking entries as we get started. We know how you guys like to wait last minute to sign up. So we're going to be holding open qualifying races all the way from Monday to Thursday. So you can still sign up all the way till Thursday night, and then we'll have the last chance qualifiers on Fridays, and then the duels and the big race Saturday morning, and the big race will be that Saturday afternoon around 2 o'clock. So still time to join. We look forward to having everybody. And as we're getting our producer, Cody Knotts, getting everybody ready, we got Tristan Bruce and Ryan Johnson. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good, good.
Doing good, doing good. Just trying not to work too much.
Okay, well, we talked to Matt Cherry, Chris Blanchard, and then we had Matthew David Wood and Jordan Jurassic on. So our our last group of the night. So we're gonna kind of get into it, kind of ask some of the similar questions that Tyler and I would, trying to kind of make it seem like he's here with us. So uh, Ryan, we'll start with you, and then Tristan, you'll go next, and but kind of talk to us about your season. I'll get into the stats in a little bit and whatnot, but talk to us about your season. Both of y'all first time running. Ryan's been a Nazareth member for a while in our Xfinity series, but he's moved to this truck series doing double duty. So Tristan, this is your first season with us. So both of y'all kind of talk about y'all first time racing and the concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series on Friday nights.
It it's been a little bit of culture shock because I feel like between the two series with the Xfinity and the Cops Truck Series, um, they're pretty polar opposites in what I've experienced racing with the guys that run in them. Um, Fridays definitely seems like it's more of an aggressive, fast paced kind of race versus the Tuesday. I didn't really expect that coming into the season, so it kind of caught me off guard. But I've attempted to learn and adapt and adjust based on that, and try and run my races a little bit differently than how I would approach like a Tuesday race. Um, Overall, it's been a decent season. I mean, I definitely didn't expect to be in the Champ Six, so that's pretty cool. Um, I mean, we could have, I feel, had a better regular season and a couple races in the playoffs. Had some things gone my way a little more, but unfortunately it didn't. But we still made it here, and we got a win or two, I think, in the season. So I'm pretty happy with that at least, and looking forward to see what happens tomorrow.
And Tristan?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good season for me. Um, Came in, yeah, like you said, this is my first time with Nazara, and I'm running 3 leagues with y'all: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday is definitely my favorite. I enjoy the trucks more than anything. And yeah, 5 wins on the season. I say six, but we all know what happened last week and the penalties that came out. We all know where I stand on it, but penalties are penalties, so they had to been given out, and what happened happened. So 5 wins on the season. Yeah, it's been a really fun year for me. I enjoy running the Friday nights. Definitely, like Ryan said, more aggressive than how Tuesdays normally go. We just ran Darlington Tuesday night, and we had one caution for incident. Of course, it was me. I got pinched on the outside. I was in the wall, and I think we were 4 wide. So, but all good there. I'm like a mid-pack driver in the Tuesdays, completely opposite than Fridays. So yeah, I've enjoyed everything about it. It's been a little bit of lows, a lot of run-ins with guys. And Ryan's right here. Me and Ryan have it seems like every time I'm around him, I've my hands are like a magnet to him, I guess, and I just get drafted up to him. And even on the Xfinity side, we've had a few run-ins, but all good where I'm at, running for a championship, and really hope tomorrow night goes smooth. I feel like I have a big old target on my back, but all night listening to all these guys, I've had a huge smile on my face. So nothing changes. Yeah, just looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the stats real quick. So Tristan, we're going to talk about you first, since I'm on your name right here. Um, similar average start and finish to Jordan Jurassic. It seems like average start 10.6, average finish 13.4. You harp on the 5 wins, should have been 6, and then one pole. Ryan, your stats are 2 wins. So 2 wins and 2 poles, and then same thing. I mean, it's pretty close to what I just said about Tristan. 10.4 average start, and then average finish of 13.4. So I mean, it just a lot of similarities, that is, with a couple of you guys, and even Jordan from the previous group. Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but at one point in the season, you were almost out of it, correct? You had a schedule conflict or something come up, and you almost had to back out, but then you were able to kind of come through and continue on.
Yeah, I looking back at it, I can't remember exactly what it was. I think there was 2 or 3 total races that I had to miss, and one of them, I believe, was the first playoff race. I can't remember. One of them was Richmond. I can't remember if it was the beginning or the end of that round, but I didn't think that would missing a race. I would be able to make up those points and be able to move on to the next round. So yeah, I contemplated quitting, and I think even before the playoffs started, I missed like 2 races, and I'm pretty sure I was down around like 20th in points. I was like pretty close to the cutoff.
Yeah, and Tristan, talk to us a little bit about, your first time coming through. I don't know if, much of your history with iRacing, or leagues you ran in. Uh, So I'm going to ask you: have you ever ran a playoff format of this type where you have eliminations and whatnot? I guess that would be my first question before I ask you my next question.
Yeah, so I got iRacing back in 2018, I believe. So I've been on here for a while, but I've done nothing but just like fixed races, C fix for years and years. I've never even, had the thought about leagues. And then one of my good buddies, Brandon Schumann, he ran Thunderclap 2 seasons ago, as well as last season. But so he introduced me to the Thunderclap League, and I ran it last year, the last season they had before it merged over to what we have on Wednesdays here at Nazara. So yeah, I ran the last season of Thunderclap. Went through the playoffs. The season was actually cut short about 5 races, I believe. It just, I don't, I don't really know why, but it burned to the ground pretty bad. So, uh, called it quits pretty early. But we still had a normal playoff format from the point that we got to, and luckily I was able to win the final Thunderclap championship. So I have one league under my belt, one full season league, and one championship. So 1 for 1, hoping to go 2 for 2 tomorrow night.
Okay, and Ryan, you've been down this road before with the Xfinity series. It's a little bit different though, because Xfinity only runs 18 races. Uh, I believe it's like 19 maybe if you include speed weeks. Over here, you got a 25-week series. And then if you include speed weeks, it's more in the Clash, it's more like 27, almost 28 weeks of racing. So, almost about 10 weeks longer than it is on the Xfinity side, in a different format because of the, I guess, shorter season. So, there's an extra round involved. You got to get through that extra round and whatnot. You go from 20 to 14 guys to 10, then down to 6. So, this next question for both of y'all is just kind of talk about the playoffs. Each of y'all have one win in the playoffs, but talk about, the challenges going round to round. I know you guys, Tristan has the 4 wins in the regular season. Ryan, you had one. So Tristan had a lot of playoff points. So it may have been easier, in the beginning, but as you start knocking out drivers and we start getting that, more competitive niche and the pressure's on for you guys when you get down to 14 and then 10 when it resets. Talk to us a little bit about going through that whole playoff format and what it's like to, get on the other side and be in the championship six.
Yeah, it's difficult. I I personally uh like the traditional Winston Cup style NASCAR, point system that we used to have. So I think that's why I like the regular season. It it gives you a little more room to mess up and recover um, before the playoffs start. But I mean, once the playoffs start, if you have a bad race, you could be out that week, and there's so much less recovering from it. You have to be on your game every week, especially with the people that we have in this league. I mean, if you're not, somebody else will be, and your spot goes down the toilet pretty quickly. Um, and yeah, this one is a bit longer than the Xfinity, so that added round and like when the points reset, I mean everything you did in the regular season is kind of null and void as long as you made it to the playoffs, and you just have to bring your A game every single week to try and beat these guys.
And Tristan?
Yeah, like Ryan said about the old-fashioned playoff system where it's just strictly points to the end. I'd like to run, a series that way just because I haven't with a league. I think that'd be pretty cool. Obviously with McGill, me, and MDW's 5 wins each. I don't really know how the old traditional playoff or point standings where all those would shake out, but I'm sure it'd be really interesting to see. But yeah, I came into the playoffs having 4 wins in the regular season, so that really helped having a bunch of playoff points, able to, of course that helps going through round to round, but honestly, come playoff time is when I struggled the most in the season. I have 1 win in the playoffs, and that was Richmond, and we saw what happened there, and I snuck my way to that win, luckily. So if it weren't for the top 3 wrecking out at Richmond, I wouldn't have a win in the playoffs. So it's a struggle, but you got to be on your A game. I was really looking forward to Dover is my all-time favorite track on the schedule. I was really looking forward to that because that was the first race of the last round we were in, I believe. So I just wanted to get the win there at Dover and be, smooth sail to Charlotte, but wrecked out at Dover, unfortunately. And, it's a fight, and we saw what happened last week. To me, I won the race and thought, I'm locked in. And next morning, penalties come out. I wake up to my teammate Isaac Bevan saying, "Yeah, y'all, you might want to check the Discord." And oh boy. So yeah, but luckily I'm still able to have the fight for the championship six. Very thankful for that. Um, yeah, I like how the playoff system works. I guess I like both, but yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'm enjoying it.
Well, we know why Ryan likes the old format or the old Winston Cup is because he was our regular season champion.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
so he was Mr. Consistency, I guess you can call it, going into the playoffs. He did get an extra 10 playoff points for it. So I mean, that does help you out in the first round. And then, we get to 14 and it's still, it's the pressure's on when you get to 14 because I know you still carry those playoff points and whatnot, but you're not safe. You don't feel safe, especially if you're, I would say probably maybe sixth place to 14th seed in that round. You feel kind of vulnerable to get to, 10th, and then when you get to the top 10, it's almost like a reset completely over the whole season. It's just 3 races straight up. Everybody has 2,000 points. You don't have this huge gap like you see. We saw Colin Weatherholt. Shout out to Weatherholt on Mondays. I think he had like 56 playoff points. So his first and second round was just, a breeze for him in a way. And then, you reset and you kind of put in this position where if you mess up your first race, like harped on Dover, you have a bad race, you got to go to Talladega next week, and we all know how Talladega is. You just you never know what's going to happen. And then if you got an EOL, you got to start in the back, you got to make your way up there, and then things could just in a split second go wrong at Talladega. So I love this round. I feel like this is the round that really, um, kind of changes the outcome for a lot of people from having great seasons and they have it knocked out. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be easy, to make it this far. So I want to ask real quick. Excuse me. I want to ask real quick. We've been seeing a trend tonight, and I want to see this trend if it's going to change or whatnot. Ryan, you go first. How many laps have you practiced at Charlotte this week?
Big old goose egg.
Okay, and Tristan. Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, normally when I tend to practice for races, it goes way worse than if I don't practice. Um, I mean, in my in my opinion, we have an hour and 20 minutes every week before the race, and I can normally figure out what I need to from there. And what I haven't figured out, I'll figure out throughout the first stage or two in the race, and then I typically adjust from there for the final stage.
And Tristan.
Yeah. Like Ryan just said, or yeah, I'll say it. 6 for 6. I haven't touched Charlotte at all this week. Um, Waiting on that setup to come out. Come on. Um, but yeah, like Ryan said, you know, stage 1 and 2 is where a lot of the times is where he figures it out if he needs to. um when I practice before the race in that hour and 20 minutes, I pretty much strictly just run q laps, so I don't really figure out the tire fall off and whatnot. I've said in uh post race interviews before, like stage 1 is pretty much my practice. I figure everything out in stage 1, and then it's on from there. So yeah, I pretty much try to strictly just put Q laps down in the practice and figure out how to qualify. I have one pole on the season, that's Michigan. I'm surprised I got it. I'm not that good in qualifying. I think you said my average was 10 and a half or 11, something like that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong in qualifying ever, but yeah, haven't touched Charlotte this week, and I guess I'm just gonna. I guess tomorrow I'll run a lot of practice, not just Q laps.
Well, hey, I mean, there's a lot of people that would love to have an average 10th place starting position. So, I mean, it's still, I mean, you got to be up there. I think, I kind of harp on this a lot of shows is people take stage points for granted. And I know stage points doesn't mean anything tomorrow night. It's just about finishing ahead of your other competitors that's fighting for the same championship as you. But, early on in these seasons, we see, guys not qualify and not get stage points in the first stage, just giving up stage points, and then they miss out in the playoffs. So, uh, but anyways, my next question, and this is where we get to the fun part of things. Ryan, you go first, and then since Tristan can't pick himself, we'll have a new person that we don't want to see win the championship. So, um, Ryan, you go first. You got to pick somebody. You can't pick yourself, and we don't want to hear these lame answers where we go into this and we don't want to upset somebody. But you got to pick somebody you want to see win the championship, and pick somebody that you hope does not win it.
This is probably the easiest question. I mean, it's gonna be Tristan. I don't know how many times we've wrecked throughout the entire season. Um, it if he if we wreck that many times and he wins the championship, that's like the ultimate bleep. Bleep bleep. I don't know how you do that. Yeah, Tristan.
Okay, well, do you want him or not?
To not. Sorry,
Okay, okay.
I
So
should have
who do you want?
specified.
Yeah, who do you want to win it?
Um, Honestly, I would probably go with MDW. Um, Even though we had our fair share of problems at Dover there, but that's really been the only time. Um, he just seems like a really good guy. I've, we've had really clean racing. I like racing around him. Seems like a good guy. I'm gonna go with him. That's for lack of knowing the other competitors as much as I've talked to MDW compared to them.
And Tristan?
So who do I want to win it? I changed my answer after listening earlier. It was Matt Cherry. I like Matt Cherry. He makes all my paint schemes, does all my designs. They're awesome. Matt Cherry makes great paint schemes, but I immediately talked to him after the race last week. I reached out, and once again throughout the week. Uh, he seemed like everything was all right. He said, "Don't have to worry about him. He's not the guy I got to worry about." But come Discord and on the live podcast, things don't sound the same. So, who do I want to win? I want Jurassic to win it. If it's not me, go Jurassic. I like Jurassic's very genuine, down to earth guy. I think he deserves it. Everything about it. Who do I not want to win it? Honestly, Blanchard. I don't want Blanchard to win the championship. Uh,
Oh, he will appreciate that one. I
I'm,
appreciate that answer.
yeah, I think he will too. McGill, McGill deserves a championship, right? And Jurassic said, it's not that who deserves it, but the way I look at it, 5 wins, 5 wins, 5 wins. Me, McGill, MDW, we all deserve it. Ryan has wins, he deserves it. We all deserve it. We've won races, we've worked for it. Um, you know, Whoever wins it, I guess we all deserve it. But yeah, I go Jurassic and boo Blanchard.
Well, I appreciate those answers, and you know, we harped on how long the season is, and you're going to have battles with certain individuals. You're going to have rivals. We've seen it early on. I guess you can call the MDW and Ryan Johnson rivalry going on, and then Tristan, you had a rival with Jeff Merck, and you probably didn't even know it, but he early on in the season, we've seen a lot of great battles between guys, in the playoffs and not in the playoffs. And so, racing against guys that's not going to be in the championship that you might have upset early on in the season, what is that going to be like, Ryan, is racing against people that's not actually fighting for a championship, but there's still payouts on the line for tomorrow? Um, there's a lot of things that people don't realize, that just because you're not in the championship six, people are fighting for seventh place, which gets money. I believe they get like $75 or something, which is still something, And people are fighting for 21st, which is the consolation playoffs. So there's a lot of different things going on in this race that's not just focused on you championship six drivers. So what's it going to be like trying to come up through the field? Because both of y'all, like I said early on the show, y'all are starting in the back. So what's it going to be like trying to come up through the field and maybe passing somebody who doesn't want to see Ryan Johnson get ahead of him and go up there and compete with them, or see a Tristan Bruce pass them and whatnot? What is that going to be like trying to come up through the field and trying to get up there because you want to, I would believe, by the end of stage two, be in the top 5 or 10 maybe. So what's it going to be like climbing up through the field tomorrow night?
Yeah. Uh, I feel like throughout most of the season, I haven't really. I want to believe that I haven't pissed anybody off too bad. Um, I'm probably just gonna attack it like I normally do, which I'm gonna have to be slow and steady in my trek towards the front of the field. Try not to screw anybody over or piss anybody off. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Just try and race clean. I mean, I don't I don't know what else to do. That's just kind of my style. And hopefully, I don't expect anybody to race me any differently either, just because I'm running for a championship. I mean, everyone's got something out there that they're racing for. Like you said, there's payouts for multiple things going on tomorrow. So I don't expect anybody to roll over and give me anything. I want to be able to earn it. If I deserve to be there, I'll be there.
And Tristan?
Yeah, it's interesting that 5 of us will be given an EOL at the beginning, and starting from the rear. But like you said, I think it was 16 of us have EOLs. So I'm not sure, who's all gonna start where. One could start 16th and the other could start 32nd. So I don't know. But yeah, earlier, like I said, I feel like I've a massive target on my back. I went 5 for 5 tonight on who doesn't want to win the most. So, but like I said, that just puts a bigger smile on my face. I laugh at it. But I don't look at this championship race really any differently. I'm gonna race the way I do. Try to get to the front. And do what I can. It's gonna be interesting. Nashville was my first EOL of the season, so that really sucks. I thought I was gonna go a full season with no EOLs, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun race tomorrow, that's for sure.
Well, to answer your question, the way we've always done it, and I like the way we done it to stay consistent, is it goes by your practice speed,
Okay.
where you're at in practice. So, if Tristan Bruce is fastest in practice, he gets the first EOL. If Ryan Johnson is seventh in practice, he'll get the seventh EOL out of those guys. So, obviously, if Tristan Bruce is fastest, he'll get the EOL first. So that'll put you you know, depending on how many drivers, right? So you can't really say 16th or 17th, but let's just
Right.
hypothetically say it's 32 guys that show up tomorrow night. 16 of y'all can't qualify. Tristan Booth is fastest in practice. You'll be 17th. Ryan Johnson would be 24th, 7th. As long as the top seven's given EOLs in practice, those guys that are not eligible to qualify, he would be 24th, and that's kind of how it goes. So make sure you join the session quick and get a quick lap time in there. Uh, so if I were y'all, I'd be clicking the button right there at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Be the first ones on the track and get a mock qualifying run in there. That seems to be the fast laps is the first ones on practice. So or at practice that is. So, but we're gonna wrap it up here. It's almost 11 p.m. Eastern time. I know you guys want to get some good rest before tomorrow night. It's going to be a great race, big show. Before y'all go, each one of y'all are going to have a chance. Ryan, you're going to go first. That's the same order we've been going in. Tell me why Ryan Johnson deserves the championship and take your time to thank everybody you would like to. And then Tristan, after he's done, you can follow up.
Absolutely.
Uh, well, after the season that I've had, I'm still here in the championship six. We're still fighting. Uh, we have less enemies than some other people out there, so maybe that increases our odds. But if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I don't know how to say I deserve it more than anybody else. You can go by wins, but at that point, I'm not the favorite. Um, I got a couple, so there's something. But I just got to thank you and everybody at Nazra putting it on. Um, Nazra 360 Racing Network, Dean and all them guys, Wesley, Jake, doing the broadcast every week. I love going back and watching them. Uh, myself, and I at that's left at Team Highline. Jason for bringing me on. I've done my best as a kind of lone wolf, I guess, but I got to thank Blue Line for letting me hang out with them at least for most weeks in the Discord, and all the fans tuning in and watching, and all the drivers. So hopefully we get a good race tomorrow.
And Tristan?
Yeah, it's been a really good year. I've had a lot of fun this season. Um, Ups and downs, made some rivalries. Got Jeff Merck, of course, Pookie. Uh, all that started back at week 3 at Texas. Dumped me out of nowhere, running top 5 at under a yellow. Out of nowhere, just dumped me. So that's how that started. But no, me and Jeff have had a lot of talks throughout the season, a lot of laughs. Um, I want to thank Dan Gobble with DSR Electric and Chrome. He helps pay our entry fees there at Chrome, so thank him so much for what he's done this season. Thank Justin White for bringing me, Schumann, and Isaac Bevan on board to Chrome, creating that team. Yeah, thank those guys. Next year, me, Schumann, and Bevan are moving on. Bevan's created his own team, the Wheelmen, so me, Schumann, and Bevan will be full time under that. So looking forward to that one next year. Um, yeah, my family. We've all seen it in the YouTube chat. I have a big fan base every week, so I really enjoy seeing that. Got a lot of support, but we also got some YouTube beef with Merc's wife. That's hilarious. Mm, yeah, just looking forward to tomorrow night. Should be really good race. Like I said, I don't look at tomorrow night's race any differently. Just want to get to the front and try to win it. Hopefully, be it's the first league I've been in with Nazareth, so hoping to get the championship tomorrow night. Like like you said a little bit ago, money's on the line for seventh and on in the points, so everyone's got to fight for the win. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's been a good year.
Well, before y'all go, Ryan, how old are you?
31.
31. Tristan?
22.
Okay, 22. 31, 22. Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all taking y'all time out of y'all schedule to be here, come and do the interview. This is where we try to appreciate, the guys who stuck with it, kind of went through the grind of going through the playoff format, because I've made it, I feel like, as hard as it can be to get to this point. So hopefully you guys appreciate it. Tomorrow night, hopefully, everybody has a great race, a great showing, and I wish y'all both the best of luck. It really does not hurt my feelings at all who wins it. I know how hard it is to get to this point. So best of luck to both of y'all. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brady.
And that was Ryan Johnson and Tristan Bruce. Ryan Johnson is number 38. He drives for Highline Racing. Shout out to Jason Morales in that group. Tristan Bruce, the number 3 truck. He touched on it with Chrome Racing. Dan Gobble and those guys, and Justin White kind of overseeing that and managing that team this season. So Ryan really didn't have any teammates this season. Single truck operation kind of deal. So no friends at the super speedway. So he was able to kind of manage his way into the championship six. So uh, moving on, kind of close out. Like I said early on, we talked about the NASCAR news. Justin Allgaier, Junior Motorsports, is making their debut for the Daytona 500 at the Cup level. So, uh, man, I wish Tyler was on the show because I know he would be excited to kind of hear that. Excited to get Junior Motorsports into the Cup level. And then you got Martin Truex Jr., who's got a ride, the number 56 Toyota uh, for Tricon um, Racing. David Gilliland and his group, they're going to make an attempt to qualify for that Daytona 500. So some big news coming out for NASCAR. We'll touch on it a little bit more when we have a little bit more time. We're already at the 2 hour mark. So a lot to kind of recap once we get going, once the NASCAR season gets going. I know everybody's ramping up. Chad Ross reached out to me, and he wants to kind of get like a fantasy NASCAR thing going in Nazareth. So be on the lookout for that. Chad Ross is going to kind of set it up and manage it. We'll collect money. I think we're going to do like a $10 entry fee. So if you want to join our fantasy NASCAR league that we're going to be starting here at Nazareth. You'll see it in the Discords. We'll post it, make a group, and I think kind of do maybe a winner take all or maybe pay out top 3 or whatnot. So be on the lookout for that. Nazareth 500 coming up in 2 weeks. February 3rd, opening night for qualifying races. The big race is going to be Saturday, February 8th. And we're going to continue on. We're going to take a couple of weeks off, like I said, after tomorrow night. We'll get everybody paid out and then take a break. We'll give the guys about 2, maybe 3 week period where we'll be off, maybe run some practice races and recruitment races, and then we'll be back at Daytona for speed weeks. Most likely the Clash will be at Daytona. We haven't really made the schedule. We've got some great ideas for the schedule. Uh, we'll probably have that out probably next week, I would say. Shout out to Keith Bradley. He is officially our past champion. Keith will, uh, if he races tomorrow night, which I'm pretty sure he is, but Keith Bradley will pace the field, opening laps, and then he'll get in his position where he qualifies. So it comes to an end of us celebrating Keith Bradley as our season 8 champion. Uh, Thank you to Keith Bradley for everything he does to represent Nazareth and being a champion. So congratulations to him. And shout out to all our team owners, everybody. Cody Knott, who produces and helps out me, especially for Nazra. He does a lot behind the scenes that he doesn't get a lot of credit for. Also, the board of directors that are in there in that chat every single day, helping me out, making decisions. I'm not a one-man show. I don't take credit for everything that goes on in Nazra. It's not just me. I've got a group of 10 guys that help out, and everybody does a great job helping out recruiting, logos, getting sponsors, just helping everything that you see that goes on a weekly basis, racing 4 to 5 nights a week, broadcasting 4 to 5 nights a week. It really is a village. It does take a village to do this. So I can't thank my guys enough. I also like to, just kind of give them a big shout out, especially when we conclude a season, because when the guys are racing week in and week out, it's hard for them, but it is, also tough on the admins. We've got to make tough decisions. We've also got to draw the line in the sand somewhere. So some drivers don't like us all the time. Some drivers don't like us, most of the time, I would say that. But there's got to be some kind of law and order and a standard here at Nazareth. So thank you to all my guys. Shout out to Jeff Sickles, Adam Newbert, all those guys, Robbie Richards, Tyler Dittmer. Um, but that's going to do it for our show tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, the Xfinity Series is going to be coming up. They're about 3 weeks away from their championship race, so that's probably when we'll be back live. Maybe you might catch us next week. Kind of enjoyed being back for the podcast. Maybe in 2 weeks we'll kind of see. I'll get with Cody, see what the schedule aligns for us, and maybe we can kind of cover a lot of that Cup Series that's been going on in their inaugural season with Nazra. Uh, we'll get to Xfinity stuff since they're in the playoffs, and DSR Electric Truck Series kind of kicking off on Mondays. But the big thing we want to blast is that Nazra 500 race, guys. We expect, like I said before, all the Nazra drivers, if you're not going to be racing in your regular league night, so come out, race, qualify and race, just see what happens, see where you land up. You might make it to the duel, have a great shot at advancing to the big race. A lot of money is going to be on the line for that. I mean, we're talking $1,500, maybe more, to the winner of the Nazareth 500. So, $30 entry fee could win you $1,500 plus more, because we're paying out qualifying races, we're paying out duels. Uh, we're paying out a bunch of things. We got a bunch of sponsors coming on board. I think we're up to like 10 sponsors just for that race, and new sponsors, that is. So thank you to all those guys that have come on board, helped us out. We'll play the promo video for you, and y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.